Hey guys, welcome to my channel where if you know, you can grow. So let's erase our doubt and let's pay attention because with Shawn, it's always something to learn. Oh. All right. And we're good to go. So again, FOOP is what we're going to be using. See if you can get in there. See that? Okay, FOOP is what we're going to be using to feed your plants. Plant food and fertilizer are not the same thing. They serve two different points. But when you look them up, they can seem to be similar, but they serve two totally different purposes. Okay, exercise and diet. Two total different ways to achieve the same result. But they're both needed to do it. You can do one and still get good results. But if you put them both together, you get great results. Hey, I think I got that one. All right, so here we go. FOOP, let's see what the instruction says. For mature plants, mix 2 to 3 ounces per gallon of water. All right, so this is a 5 gallon. I probably filled up for about 3.5. So we're gonna look at about 3 times 3, 9. I'm gonna go get an 8-ounce cup. All right, this actually is a 9-ounce cup, okay? That's all. I'm gonna put that in here. Then I'm just gonna drop it in this water. Now, I'm hoping that I'm able to use all this because this isn't something that I would carry over, but I think I have enough plants in here that's gonna take care of this. But if not, I have plants that are around the house that I can take care of. And maybe one day we'll actually go through and take a look at some of my plants that are around the house. Okay, let's get to it. I'm gonna put this right here. Now, I used to have a gold one of these, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if I left FOOP or if I left whatever it is that I left in there. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off the carpet because things are gonna get messy with that. And you know what I'm gonna also do? I'm gonna go ahead and put a towel down because y'all know how I get. Probably should have put the thick. Let me put the thick one. Okay, here we go. Boom. But I think I'm good. And you might have saw my automatic light turn on. All right. Excuse me. Okay. So I'm drinking this new coffee now. Well, it's not new coffee. The coffee has mushrooms or something in mushroom powder, and it's supposed to be good for the brain and all that. So we're gonna see if I become smarter. Going back to talking about the gold picture that I had that I really like. I bought that thing from TJ Maxx. And you know about like TJ Maxx and your Ross or other stores like that. They don't keep that stuff like just when they run out, they fill it back up. After it's gone, it's gone. So I don't know when I'll get another one of those pots. Watering cans, I really don't know. I'm not in that big of a rush to have to get it, but it would be nice to have it. Now that I would go in there, put water in it, and try to rinse through, like rust or something would come back. And that's a thing for me. I do not use rust. I do not like rust. If I come to your house and you have rust around your sink, I'm not staying the night, first of all. I don't care how clean you are, and that's not to say that you're dirty. It's just I can't do rust. Like it literally gives like goosebumps and chills when I see rust, lime, calcium buildup. If your toilet is like real old, soft toilet seats, just a lot of little things like that. I'm not gonna sit here and paint myself to be the cleanest person in the world. However, I do believe that a clean bathroom, a rust-free bathroom, that's not a lot to ask for. And if you could just kind of overlook that, unless there's some things going on financially that you can't really change, and in that point, I don't even be staying at your house anyway. All right. First thing I'm gonna do is check my water meter. I always take a look at it just to kind of make sure it's not dent or messed up. That can give me some inaccurate readings, and it's still wet. So it lets me know that me and my tool are kind of thinking alike. No pun intended. All right, dry. Moist, sorry. Good. Good. Still good. Okay. Great. Now I did give these plants some water a couple of days ago. A couple of days ago being 2 days ago. This one's a little bit dry. My Peru shouldn't need it because I actually had to repot. Yeah, that's still good. Okay. All right, so we're actually pretty good over here with my monsteras. So next we're gonna come over here. And we're running on a low 2 over here. So what I'm gonna do, still running at a low 2, is I'm gonna give it a little bit of water, just a little bit. Mainly just to get it fertilized, you know? And instantly, it's starting to come out the bottom. That lets me know it's a well-draining mix in there, and that's probably why that monstera is thriving. All right, so then I'm gonna come over here. Recently, I had a lot of these plants was right here, and I just moved some stuff around. And I did that to make sure all the plants get proper light. And also, down here, even though I have a grow light that does hit, my plants just never do good down there. And you know, part of paying attention and part of doing your weekly maintenance is to kind of just assess the situation and see what's going on. Sometimes plants, for no reason, just make a left turn. I mean, you can do everything right and they still just, you know. Most of the time you're not doing everything right, but let's just say, for a small conversation, you are doing everything right and your plant just made a turn. So it's, what are you gonna do about it now? So what I did is took the plants that's down here, which I only had 2 at the time, and just moved them somewhere closer to the light. This plant is doing pretty good. My golden goddess, she's a grower. I'm telling you, she doesn't play. My pothos, this is the one that's down here that has a few little yellow leaves that I plucked off yesterday, but it's doing pretty good today. Well, I'm glad within 24 hours I didn't get another yellow leaf, you know. Let's take a look here. All right. This one dried in your grandmother's stuffing on the 3rd day after Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna go ahead and water this. Again, check on your plants and make sure that they need to be watered before you do it. Just because I'm fertilizing my plant, feeding my plants, it doesn't mean that I just give them food just because, hey, it's good for them. No, if your plants are wet, it don't matter that you're giving them food, because if you give it to them while it's wet, you're gonna cause root rot, whether you meant good or not. So just keep that in mind. That's why I always say it's best to really try to let your plants dry out completely. All right, good to go. Let your plants dry out. You gotta have a plan. At the end of the day, you just have to have a plan, and you have to know what it is that you're going to be doing. Especially when you have the amount of plants that I have, is that you just can't go into here just freeing it. You know, you can't do that, or you're gonna have a lot of dead plants. And I'm the first. What you should do if you have this many plants, go through like an hour before, or 30 minutes before, or the day before, and write down which plants don't need any water. Because if I would have known this yesterday, like, hey, all of these need water except for one, then I'll be able to zoom through here. Now I'm having to individually check it as I go through, which is time consuming. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind doing it because it's my plants, but hey, if you could do something quicker to get the same exact effect, why not, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one right here that's trying to do something, which I think I messed up the watering cycle on here and it dried out, and so I'm gonna have some problems with that leaf. Possibly have to cut it off and take that L. I don't trust myself with the self-watering container as of right now, so I'm gonna go by myself. And I hear it's dripping down at the bottom. I hear it splashing, so good to go. I know for a fact that all these are dry because yesterday when I was doing my update, I noticed a few of them. That's why I knew I need to get in there. I was actually going to do my update on, that's why I've been doing my updates on Instagram. And I was like, you know what? Let me just talk to my people today. I haven't really talked to y'all in a while. How y'all feel about that? Let me move this back a little bit, sorry. How did y'all feel about that Ace Hardware Store video? Like, I've always wanted to do a video that was a little bit different of come with me and see what I do, how I buy what I buy, and how I got my room like this. But for some reason, I don't feel like that video went the way I wanted it to go. It was nothing exciting about that store. As far as plant-wise, indoor plants, this plant is deciding that it wants to grow this direction, and it has all of that. Plants just do what they want to do. That's the cool thing about them. So when you think you learned them, yeah. If you follow me on Instagram, then every Sunday I take these outside and I spray them down with a water hose on the porch. So they are pretty good. Now the ones in the front I do need to check, but all those in the back, they're good. With hybrids and very delicate plants, I'd rather just make sure those are underwater instead of overwatered. Pink Princess is doing pretty well. This is my White Knight. We got some history with this one. This was one of the plants that I rescued from Home Depot, actually. And I made an Instagram reel about it, and it was like the first time that I actually had a reel. In my eyes, it went viral because it was the first time I ever had a reel go over 5,000 or 6,000. So yeah, that was pretty good times. And the thing, what happened is that after I let everybody know that I have a special plant and that it was damaged and I'm trying to bring it back, it stopped wanting to grow on me. So I was like, oh shoot, this gonna make me out to be a liar that I'm trying to save this plant. But then what happened was I got tired of it just being dormant, which it wasn't browning or anything. So that lets me know it wasn't dying. Sometimes you have a plant that just doesn't do anything for months. It could be several factors. Most of the time with me, I believe that it's stress. Whenever I have a plant that doesn't do well, it's because I have completely moved it in a whole nother area and it is trying to adjust, or maybe I have changed the soil in it probably 2 or 3 times and it's just like, what is going on? Especially earlier in the days, I used to experiment a lot with soils and trying to make my own mixes because I saw everybody else doing it. I figured my plants would be cooler and better. And so this is the thing. Yes, your plants will be great if you mix them, right? However, if you mix your plants with the wrong stuff, you do a disservice to them. So, that's what I did with that plant. I came up with my own mix with my White Knight. I came up with my own mix and I did it. And it just retained too much water in it. And that's that. So I took it out, put mainly in moss. So I have this one over here. Oh, it's draining a little bit. So I'm gonna have to be fast so it don't drain all over my stuff. But this one, maybe I can do that. This one right here I have in soil, and the other one I just have in moss and peat moss. I mean moss and perlite, sorry. And both of them are responding and doing pretty well. So for now, I'm gonna leave it. See here. I want you to get over here and take a good look at my section I have here. I just had a fresh leaf. Now, I bought this plant as a Prince of Orange. It is not a Prince of Orange. Clearly this is a, well, I'm not gonna say clearly, but it definitely looks like an Imperial Red, maybe. I just can't believe how healthy this plant has gotten, guys. Like, when I bought this plant, I just put it on Instagram. But when I bought this plant, like the leaf colors were totally different. Everything was different about this plant. And then it just darkened and just got to be so healthy. And so, yeah. First rescue plant that I bought that big before ever. I was a little worried. Some of these plants that I bought, guys, like they had them mislabeled. And that's the thing that sucks, is that you get a plant, especially when you get them from your big box stores, and they're mislabeled. And I'm the type of person that I like to brag. So it was one of the plants that I bought right here. This is what a true Prince of Orange actually looks like. So it's in some rough shape here. We need to get that on a moss pole and get that taken care of. This is the Ring of Fire. Sometimes when I buy plants and I go in there to get one plant and I end up seeing another one and I get that one, I forget about the plant that I bought on impulse. Like, not in the fact of like neglect or care. It just hasn't registered in my head that I have that plant. So I go through, I water it, and I keep it moving, but I don't really enjoy it because I haven't really noticed it. So this is, so far it seems to be a quick, easy grower. My narrow down here has been through it. And so it's just very interesting to see if I can redeem myself with this one versus my narrow. I'm eventually going to get another narrow, which I haven't seen them really called narrow these days. They're called jungle boogies. Don't know why, but that's what that is. All right, so that's my goldfish plant. Hopefully you can see it a little bit. I know it sucks a little bit. Let's see. All right, so, yeah. My section over here is doing pretty good, guys, with maintaining it. All right, let's turn the light on in here. I still don't know how to adjust the timer in here yet. Let me show y'all. So, bone to pick with these people is, this is a timer they sent. Like, when was this created? Like, come on, I'm gonna need you to get in the thousands. So, I do not know how to program that. I have watched 3 different YouTube videos for it, so maybe it's not meant for me. I keep on saying I'm gonna order the Amazon plugs, and I actually have an Amazon plug here, but every time I get to the point where I need to sync it up on the internet, something funky happens. So I haven't been able to connect it. Once I connect it though, I'll be able to get it on a timer, on a routine, and the lights will turn on and turn off by itself. I do have, I don't know if you all remember my pothos down here. I do have them in a self-watering container, although I do not use it. I just wanted it for the shape. Pothos need to dry out, in my opinion. That's what they do great at. So that's how I'm going to keep it. I know, let me just stop being lazy. Roll it up and set my plant or something kind of near or on it. Maybe that'll hold for a little while. Probably won't, and it's gonna drop at the most inconvenient time, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Why is there's a spider in here? I don't, no. All right, let's go ahead and get some water. My pothos, like, they freaking, I'm gonna move this over so I don't get no water here. My pothos, though, they love this area, guys. They love this cabinet. They cannot get enough of it. The light in here is perfect for them. Yeah, no complaints since it's been a year. it's several different plants in here. I mean, okay, we got this going on. We got this one going on. Look at that. So yeah, and then look at that right there. Pretty cool. Good times. All right. Water here. Let me get a container. I gotta stop being lazy. Sometimes I won't water a plant that much because I don't have no watering container at the bottom, and that's like the dumbest thing you could do. Is not water your plant. So next, I do come through here and water. Gotta keep your moss moist that you have your plants propagating in. I forget about it sometimes. I really do. You gotta keep your moss moist, guys. That's the only way that the nodes are gonna be able to. The only way that you are gonna be able to grow your plant, and I'm trying to freestyle this. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say is that the only way that you're going to be able to get some propagations out of here is that your nodes have to have something moist in order for those roots to start growing, especially if you don't have it in water. I think that that's pretty cool that all the way back here, I have a whole nother one growing. And I told you all this was going to fall. It could be a time. Luckily enough, I was here. Guys, my spider plant, spider flash, I cut it all the way back because it just wasn't doing good. And the bounce back is going to be real off of it. It's already growing. See, Noam, I need to repot this probably today. The roots at the bottom of it are busted out. So it's time. And I need to move the water because I do not want my roots to sit in that water because, you know what? I do not need the roots to sit in that water because it's going to cause my plants to be yellow. It's going to cause root rot. And it's not even in no soil. That got to suck, right? All right. Lastly but not least, I believe that that is a titanium that I have going on. And let me show you all since we're here. And it's pretty much going to start wrapping things up. This is a Columbia, guys. It had died. And I refuse to let it go, but take a look at it now. It is back. And just like that, we are done. It's a couple of plants that we may have missed in going through here. If we missed, it's just because I didn't see it that important enough to update on. But if you saw a plant in here that you want a little bit more information on, that you was a little bit curious as to what it needs, I'm going to tell you what I do and why it's still here. If it's a plant that you've seen that's fairly new, I'm going to disclose that that plant is fairly new and I'm still learning. Guys, I don't know the secret to these plants. All I know is that you give them water, you give them light, now you give them some food, they will usually act right for the most part. Usually, it's always one or two things, light and a water issue. For me, not so much as a water issue as is a light issue for me. I will give a plant too much light entirely. And sometimes with like your dark leaf philodendrons, giving them too much light causes them to have a whole nother color palette. I'm just curious to see because it seems like when I buy plants sometimes there are so many different colors, especially my philodendrons, the dark leaves. And then by the end, about 2 or 3 months, they all start looking like brothers and sisters. So I don't know if that's because they know that they're around, they're sensing each other and they're transforming. I don't know. So anywho, I go to say this, is that I appreciate you all taking the time to be here. I know you have all those other subscribers that you could definitely be watching or subscriptions, but you're here with me and I appreciate you hanging out with me. I mean, it was a lot of fun going through talking to you all. Again, if you see some plants that stood out to you, let me know. I'll tell you what to do or tell you what I'm doing. Yeah. So now I need to go ahead and wrap up so that way I can go get ready to pick these kids up. You can get my car inspected first, then get the kids. I got about an hour drive to go get them. As always, when you're growing with Shawn, there's always something to learn.